what was I experiencing and how bad things had gotten before I experienced therapy was excessive pain. I had abdomen pain and I had pain that shot, it felt like from my abdomen toward my hip. And I couldn't pinpoint what was causing it. It was all the time. It was pressure that I had that was made me feel bloated. I would lay on my bed or on my couch and try to massage it and move it around and see if something would make it feel better. Nothing was making it feel better. I tried to adjust my diet to see if that was helping. I drink tons of water. I drink no soda. Not big on junk food, and nothing was helping. It just kept getting worse. I waited a couple months and went and see my family doctor, and the first thing she thought was could be an appendicitis. So right away they sent me that same day for a CAT scan, and they called me right away and told me it's not appendicitis. So then it's kind of like everything took a back burner. It wasn't a rush to figure out what was causing my pain. And that was April of 2022. So from April of 2022 through December, I seen multiple doctors, different areas of the body. I had to go to an OB/GYN for an internal ultrasound. They did a biopsy. Nothing's found. I went to a urologist, and they also sent me for a ultrasound of my bladder and kidneys, and said everything looked good. Then I was sent to my gastroenterologist, and she said, I know it's bothering you. You need pelvic floor therapy. And I was just shocked because I thought, well, that's not connected to gastroenterology, is it? And she said, oh, yes, it is. You'd be surprised. Because she listened to all my symptoms and she was like, she had already seen my chart from previous years. And she said, no, you need to go. You need to have pelvic floor therapy. I'm telling you, that's what you need. And I have a golden ticket I could give you. So she did give me, she introduced me to what it was and told me, you need to call and check it out, make an appointment. And then when I left her office, I was so excited to do it. And then I was freaking out because I thought, what if my insurance doesn't cover it? So then I waited a couple months and I had to go back to my family doctor for something, or my OBGYN, and she also recommended pelvic floor therapy. And I told her I wasn't sure if my insurance covers it. So she looked through her chart and she's seen we do have some through our insurance, which was UC Health. And she said, so I'm going to give you a referral. So after a few weeks, they called and set me up an appointment, but it was months out. So we're in this year already in 2023. 2023 comes, I set the appointment finally for UC Health pelvic floor therapy. And at the same time, I'm still having so much pain. I pulled out my golden ticket and I looked up the information for the healing spot. And I went online and filled out this information. And I don't even remember what I was filling it out for. I was filling it out to see a video or a brochure or something. And then I chickened out. I closed my phone down. And a couple hours later, I get a phone call. And it was Margot. And she's office manager, I believe, at the healing spot. Her talking to me and inviting voice, she was so soothing, and so she just gave me so much confidence in what she was saying, and explained how the first interview or first appointment is so, it's just you sit down and talk. You'll meet Justine, you'll talk, you'll get a feel for whether or not you think you'll like therapy, and she'll explain everything to you in detail. And the first visit, the consult wasn't going to cost me anything. And so I went ahead and booked it. We waited. I told her I needed to think about it for 24 hours. There I am, a chicken, still thinking, I don't know. But the next day when she called, I set it up. And so we went and set up the first appointment. And from that day, it's been fabulous. I mean, I was very hesitant for so long. I could just kick myself because all that time I was in so much pain. Had I listened to my first doctor who gave me the referral, I would have been better way back then. 18 months ago is when I started with the pain, or when I was physically aware of it and went to the doctor. I waited 18 months until I had my first appointment. During that time, I do have massages every month faithfully, and I did look up different things that I could do, exercises and stretch, on myself, pressure points and stuff I could press on my abdomen, change my diet slightly just to see if little tweaks would make a difference. And nothing was working. I felt like I was 9 months pregnant. I felt so bloated, so much pain. It was even hard. It was hard to explain to anybody how I was feeling. They looked at me like I had two heads. And just knowing that I could have solved a lot of this had I came here at the beginning is is I'm happy now, but I'm frustrated I didn't do it back then. Coming to the healing spot, at first I was apprehensive, but after talking to Margot, she did make me feel very comfortable and explain things in detail, and her voice just it blew it away for me. She was very inviting. Then when I met Justine, it was even more so because Justine is so friendly, explains everything in detail, gives you visuals so you could see the human body, the skeleton, the muscles, all that, everything, how it's hooked together. And once you see it and she explains, it makes so much sense. So after that first discovery session, I felt very comfortable and was excited to start my therapy, my weekly visits, and even to go home and do some of my work, my practice work, made a big difference. And it doesn't take a long time. I mean, it's things you don't even think about, and you can just go do it 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, or during the day if you need to do a little extra. It helps. When I first came here, I was having issues with, well, my pain, my hip pain from my abdomen, bloated pelvis. That's I feel great. I need to now I'm at the opposite end where I need to start, okay, I need to tighten up. I need to, get physically fit. I feel great. I can walk. I can do things without it hurting. It doesn't hurt anymore, my right hip. Um, uh, my bowels. When I first came here, and this is another part of the pelvic floor therapy, and I didn't even realize it. I was always constipated my entire life. I've been one of those cases that where I have intestines of steel. I would go to the bathroom if I was lucky once a week. And now it has been, the last couple of weeks have been faithful at least 4 times a week, which is a miracle. And like, if that could just stay like that the rest of my life, it would just be a pure miracle. So that is a big, huge change. You feel so light. It's been huge. And then as far as my bladder control, before I could easily have leakage. I have 5 old dogs. And so even if I had to go to the bathroom, sometimes I would hold it because I'm in the middle of doing something with them. And now I have no problems. I don't sit there and wait because I know better. I go to the bathroom when I know I need to go to the bathroom, but the leakage is minimal, minimal. I'd say I'm 90, 95% better in that in both areas, 100% actually in the bowels. Because I mean, from 1 time a week to 4 times a week, that's amazing. So that's just been a lifesaver. I was a little bit held back with starting the therapy with due to the cost because it wasn't something covered through my insurance, but I'm worth it. I felt I was worth it. I don't care what it's going to cost. I'm going to spend the money. So up front, I decided I was very stubborn because Justine did explain there, and so did Margot, that there are payment plans or things you could sign up for. And I thought, oh no, I'll just come every week and I'll pay every week. Well, after the first 4 sessions or 3 sessions, I said, could I get on a payment plan now? It would be better for me. And because I'm going to keep coming, I'm not going to stop coming. And because at first I was so hesitant, I thought I'll just try it a couple weeks. But no, it's better. I thought it would have been better if I had just started the payment plan in the beginning because that way didn't have to worry about nothing. I knew it was just something I can just concentrate on as far as my therapy and don't worry about the money. But there are payment plans available, and there's even long term as far as how many more sessions you would like available. So it was great. After waiting 18 months and signing up for my first uh, consultation with Justine. Um, it has only taken, it's been 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 2 months where I have felt I'm so much better, 95, 90% to 100, better than I was before. 18 months of all that pain, unnecessary trips to all these different doctors and tests where I could have, if I would have listened and not been stubborn and did pelvic floor therapy, 2 months and I'm so much better. 100, it's just amazing what it does for your life. It changes your life. And I think women need to know what our muscles, what everything's for. Because we have a misconception. I know there's a misconception. I know I had one out there. And you think all these other muscles, if they're strong, they're, if they're tight, they're strong and they're doing their job. And we realize we think that that's the same thing other places. And that's not true. Sometimes things are tight and they're not supposed to be. They're preventing other things within your body from working correctly. So it's been amazing. It's been an eye-opening experience. And if I could have just go back in time and done it a long time ago, I would have. But it was the first year coming out of COVID. So I think a lot of it, it's mental games. I think just sitting so much and being more sedentary and thinking, oh, it's old age and everything's setting in. No, Justine has done a great job. It's fabulous.